in the past few months, past 3 4 months, I have had substantial growth in aspects of my perception on money, my perception on work, and my perception on job, how you want to progress in life. Because now, because of my good luck, I've got to work with a founder who is now whose company that I'm working from the start. I'm the first hire. We are at around 7 employees. We are having 10K dollars monthly, so around maybe, okay, I'll just say 10 lakhs. Sorry, my bad, not 10 lakhs, way more. Monthly revenue. And for you to crack a 10K per month business, you need to have some insights about money. And some things he told me, one, and that he gave me insight, and I am a true operator in the domain of sales. I'm supposed to do setting of leads to meetings booked, and all the people who have replied positively or asking for more details, I'm supposed to call, email them, follow up, and see what, try to convince them to take a meeting, telling you'll get more information there because our offer is pretty good. We got meetings with Britannia. We got a positive reply from Tata Communication, Crown Plaza of Dubai, other many big companies so far. So we are pretty solid. We are at 14 clients. Where our goal is to, one, we have a milestone at 20 clients, and then at 100 clients. And at 100 clients, me, my boss, everybody is sorted for life. Meaning not sorted for life, but we'll cash out pretty good. So some lessons, I go on long drives with him and we talk about money and his experience with running the businesses, my doubts, everything. And some keen insights I took away from that is, one is, you don't want to work for company to company getting 1 lakh, 2 lakhs monthly income, and annually you have an increment of like 1%, 5%, where you go from 1 lakh to 1.5 lakhs, then 2 lakhs over the period of years. Instead, you might want to work towards a goal where you're working on a startup or you have your own business. And maybe it's not paying you as well. Maybe it's paying you 50, 45, 70K monthly, growing to 1 lakh, and maybe it can pay even more. But at in this process where you're getting meaningfully less payment, but you have equity money where you have stake in the business, and you are promised a big payout in some time, in maybe 5 years, 2 years. 10 is too far, but even maybe 10 years. You should work towards not steadily incrementing menial payments monthly, 1 lakh, 1.5 lakhs, because if you're steadily getting that amount of money, your living expense will also go up steadily according to how much money you're making. So, but if you're, for example, we hit 100 clients and we sell a company, if for equity I have, maybe I get 5 crores, it's like it hits my account all of a sudden. So my lifestyle is cannot race fast enough to spend all the money first of all. And there's other complications to get into it, but not that. I don't want to get into that right now. But what I'm saying is, when you're working towards big cash outs in periods of few years, your lifestyle cannot catch up. Maybe every 5 years I get 5 crores into my account. My lifestyle cannot catch up to that. Meaning, maybe, I don't know. I want to get deeper into that. But you work towards payouts, pretty decent payouts in business, in sales, or in having an equity and stuff. Where with the payouts you're out of the game, but with regular salaries, it's like it only increases like 5%, 5%. If you report in sick, that's a paid leave, you lose money there. That's one major insight, and that's something I wanted to share. Like, that was a huge like changing point in my head. It's like, then one thing my CEO founder always says is, it's never about intelligence, it's about iterations. How many times have you tried something and tried to iterate on it, try split testing every single aspect of it to improve it and see which places break, which places can be more efficient, which places can be done better. That is iteration. So you cannot call yourself a subject matter expert or a product matter expert unless you iterate 100 times. What is iterate? It try something, it fails, you try it again but with a minor tweak, and then it does it differently. For example, I'm making content creation, a certain type of shot of mine blows up. After that shot blows up, I make three different iterations of that shot, and all three blow up to a certain extent, but one blows up even more, and I iterate on that, and like that it's a loop. So iteration is your key to making something work. You should keep iterating. So if I come to my boss and say, "Oh, I tried this, it didn't work," how many iterations of it you have done? That's one thing. That's the second thing I want to touch upon. And third thing is agency. Agency is a huge thing that he one of the things he hired me over was agency. I didn't have enough agency. The second hire that I gave a reference for, he had more agency than me, he did better than me, and he for his last few months he made a little more money than me. Pretty proud of that guy. But in competition this month I also stepped up my game. Agency is where people find blocks and they go out of their way to figure out solutions without anybody telling them to do it and solving it themselves, so that the main operator, the main founder, can focus on the bigger mission. So example, I'm sending out emails and there's a new email that comes that's kind of specific, ask question. I do my own research and write a reply to that, then go into my founder and telling him, hey bro, what I got this, what should I say to that? I need to figure it out, I have to sort it. Me going out of my way without anybody telling me what to do and figuring out solutions to problems is agency. A great business needs a founder with high agency, and he recruits people with high agency who are high level operators with high agency. So the third thing is agency. Agency determines where you go in life. Agency is how much are you willing to get your ass up and get shit done. And my founder believes that anybody could be successful. It's just how much agency do they have, how much they are willing to go out of the way and bang their head against a wall till something cracks. That's agency. How much are you willing to punch the wall, trying again and again and again and failing to figure something out? Low agency people will just fail. And yeah, I'll just link a podcast that my founder had sent me about agency and breaking it down in detail. It's from Modern Wisdom and another guy, I'm not getting his name. I'll put it in the description. So 1 hour, 2 hour podcast talking about agency and breaking it down in depth. Then, oh, what a notification, SMS. Agency, we covered 3 topics. There was one more. Let's see if I can remember it right now. Agency, the next one. The more you know and more genuine, authentic knowledge you have, the simpler you can explain it and the simpler you can describe it. People who use big terms, big jargons, big complicated marketing terms, they sound smart, but they compare to the person who explains the same concepts to in a ninth grade English. The guy who can explain the complex topics in simple English actually knows the topic than the guy who uses jargons. If you use more jargons, it just shows that you know less. The more simpler you can talk, the more clear you can talk. That makes you more trustworthy, and that conveys you know more. My founder, he told a story that he always felt like compared to everybody else he was not as smart, because everybody else in his corporate space, which he worked in like for 9 years or 7 years, whatever, they all use jargons about concepts, topics, everything. and marketing slangs, buzzwords, and he didn't understand any of the jargons, and he thought he was maybe stupid. But when it came to time for him to give ideas and pitch ideas, he was the one who was creative, and he was the ones who had the agency to come up with ideas, whereas all his colleagues were silent. That's the thing. Uh, it's like the more simpler you can explain it, the more better you understand it. The more jargons you use and more complicated words you use, it's the less, that means you know less, and you're trying to fill up that gap in knowledge and make others perceive you as knowing more by using words they cannot understand. That's use of jargons. I think if I sit down and think, I'll get more things he said, but these are some of the four main things that came to my head from drives where I went out with him, grabbed coffee, and he talked, and we talked about life, everything. As an individual, I feel like I got a lot of growth, a lot more agency, a lot more direction, a idea of how to approach this. If you guys are asking about my Bali trip, I'm pretty solid on. I'm gonna still attempt it. Let's see, man. The lose weight, yeah, I've been sick and not hitting gym as much, but I'll get that on track. Content creation, personal note of mine is I don't want to be a content creator for the sake of content creation. I want to be an individual who grows and makes his money outside content creation through his own knowledge, his own agency, and from what his external results he wants. I want to build a following of people who respect me for the reputation I built outside YouTube. I don't want to be a YouTuber for the sake of YouTubing. I don't want to be an influencer for the sake of influencing. You know. So yeah, good talk, guys.